السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. معكم أستاذة سمر عبد المنعم، مساعد تدريس في قسم تغذية الحيوان وال Teacher Assistant in Animal Nutrition Department. إن شاء الله هكون معكم في الكورس of mono-gastric animals nutrition, the practical section. Okay. Let's know the course topics. The topics of this course is to comparative or to learn a comparative study of digestive system of birds and rabbits, demonstration and analysis of monogastric animal feeds, energy, protein, vitamins and minerals. We will study them all. Also, we will study demonstration experiments of the role and deficiency of the essential nutrients, calculation of feed conversion ratio, what it called also feed efficiency, also methods of least cost ration formulation and feed processing and ration formulation. Okay, all these topics we will study inshallah. I hope you enjoy. Okay, this is the practical number 1. The practical number 1 title is Comparative Study of Digestive System of Birds and Rabbit. Okay, so we will study the digestive system of monogastric animals, and then we will compare the bear's digestive system and we will compare it with the rabbit digestive system. Okay, my idea to you is to make a vocabulary for this course. Try to write down any new word or any new term in this course. You can call it as a keyword, because if you understand this word, so you can understand the lesson well. Okay, and as you know also your study is in English language, so I'm trying to teach you in English language, but I am trying to use very simple words to make it easy to understand. Okay, and also if anyone have any question, please feel free when you ask me. Okay, let's start. So I think most of you don't know what the meaning of monogastric animals. Okay, what I mean with this term monogastric animals. So the monogastric animals is like humans, like us, and pigs, and also cats, dogs, rat, birds. Okay, all of these animals are monogastric, so they have a simple single chambered stomach. So the stomach of them is one chamber, consists of one chamber. Okay, like us, like the pigs, like the birds, like the cats. Okay, like rabbits. All of them are monogastric animals. We call them a monogastric animal because of their simple single chambered stomach. Okay, so this is a term of monogastric animal. Gastric is from the stomach. The stomach is called it's also related to the stomach. So when you find monogastric, that means one chamber of stomach, or a stomach, single stomach. Okay, single chambered stomach. Chambered mean room. The stomach consists of one room. Okay, you can find another farm animals like sheep, goats, and some more. They have more than one chamber in stomach, so they are not monogastric animals. Okay, I will show you these types of digestive systems according to the numbers of the stomach chambers. Okay, so here we have a monogastric animals like dogs, pigs, cats, chickens, human, ostrich, or all the birds, turkey, chickens, bears, ostrich, horses. All of these are monogastric animals because their stomach is consist of one room or a single simple chamber. Here we have a ruminant. So these ruminants, they all have more than one chamber. They have they have four chambered. The digestive system or the stomach of these ruminants consists of four chambered. So four rooms. The stomach of these animals, ruminant, consists of four rooms or four chambers. But these animals, monogastric, they have just one room in the stomach. Okay, now you know the difference between the monogastric animals and ruminant animals according to their numbers of the stomach chambers. Well, let's go further. Okay, we're going to study the monogastric digestive system. Okay, here we have the human digestive system and the rabbit digestive system. Okay, so both of them are a monogastric. Here we can you can see the stomach consists of one room. Here also in the rabbit you can see the stomach consists of one room. Okay, so this is the stomach. So when we talk about the digestive system, we should start from the mouth, because the digestive system starts from the mouth, okay, and end in the anus. Okay, so all this duct from the mouth to the anus, all of this called digestive system, and this also including some axillary glands. They helps in the digestion processing. Okay, so here we have the components of the digestive system, or we can say we have the parts of the digestive system of the monogastric. The mouth, okay, the mouth always have a teeth, but in the birds there is no teeth, as you know, but all the mammals have teeth. Okay, and then also have tongue, tongue, and also as some glands in the mouth called salivary glands, and then this tube called esophagus. Okay, the food the digestion start in the mouth, and the food passes through this esophagus. This esophagus is content, or it's connect between the mouth and the stomach, connect between them. So the food passes through the esophagus to the stomach. Okay, here in the stomach there is acid called hydrochloric acid, and also there is a enzymes. Mainly we have protein enzymes called pepsinogen. I know these details. It's not irresponsible, but we have to give overview to understand, okay, to know what's happening inside. So here in the stomach we have hydrochloric acid. So we have the acid and the enzyme of pepsinogen. Okay, so then the food treated by these two components, or two the acid and the enzyme, and then this food passes to the small intestine. In this area, in the small intestine, this area where is the most of the digestion happened in this area, or basically in the upper area of the small intestine. Okay, so in the small intestine the digestion occur, the male digestion occur here in the small intestine. As you know, the small intestine has no enzymes, or maybe you don't know this information. In the small intestine there is no enzymes secreted inside the small intestine, but the enzymes comes from the pancreas. You know this pancreas, this yellow organ called pancreas. Okay, so I think you heard about this pancreas. It's important to give us the insulin for the glucose maintenance in the blood. So the pancreas have two parts. Okay, exocrine part. This exocrine part secrete the enzymes, and endocrine part which secrete the hormone of insulin. Okay, so both of hormone insulin and the pancreatic enzymes are both secreted from the pancreas. Well, here in the small intestine the food arrive or reach this area, so we'll treat it with the pancreatic enzymes. Okay, the pancreatic enzymes arrives the small intestine through the duct of pancreatic duct. There is a duct from the pancreas to small intestine, so the enzymes from the pancreas come through this duct to the small intestine. Okay, so the food start to digestion and breaking down. Digestion means breaking down the food. Okay, so here the food started to broken down, okay, to the simplest units. Okay, and then absorbed in this small intestine, also absorbed to the blood. So, and then the blood through the circulation of the blood will distribute these nutrients to all of your cell in your body, all the cells in your body. Okay, so I will make the summary of this part because it's too long, I know. So the food when arrive the small intestine, there is two main or important processes happen in this area. Okay, first one is the digestion of the food by the pancreatic enzymes. Okay, the second process is to absorption of this food. Okay, in the small intestine, the absorption of the food from the small intestine to the blood. Okay, then um, then the left food, or which one is not digestible food, go to the large intestine. Okay, and the large intestine here, cecum. This organ is very important in the animals and also in the human. Also, this in the cecum, in this organ, there is microbes. Okay, these microbes breaking down the fibers in the food. Okay, so in some animals which eat the grasses and the trees, and also all the food rich in fibers, so this organ, you can see this organ is developed, like here in the rabbit. You can see the cecum is very large. So because the rabbit feeds or the rabbit's feed rich in fiber. They eat grasses, they eat trees. Okay, so their food rich in fiber. So this organ cecum is very large, and inside the cecum there is a microbes. These microbes or break down the fibers in the food. Okay, so the animal can get more useful from the feed. But in the human, it's not developed, because the human food is cooked. So the fiber always, the human food is cooked. So in some fibers, or our food is not rich in more fibers, or it's in too much fiber, like the animal, or like the herbivorous animal. Okay, so the cecum is small, as you know, as you see. Okay, then the large intestine. Okay, and this large intestine, in this part, the process happening, which is absorption. So absorption of some nutrients, like minerals. Okay, like some, like water. So the absorption of water and minerals happened here in this part, which is large intestine, and then in the anus, and then the feces go out. Okay, so this is the parts of the digestive system of the mono-gastric, and I gave you an overview for the digestion process to understand exactly what's happening inside the digestive system. So here the liver also, it's very important as axillary gland, because there is a bile duct. Okay, bile. This bile come to the small intestine through the bile duct, and this bile helps in the digestion of lipids. Okay, so the liver produce the bile, and this bile store in the gallbladder. So in the digestion process, this bile comes from the gallbladder to the small intestine through the bile duct, and helps in the digestion of the lipids. Okay. Well, this is a pig. The pig also as example for a monogastric animal. So here I gave you a definition for the digestion process to know what I mean by the digestion. It's a process of breaking large bits of food down. Break down the food into small molecules. Break the food down into small molecules that are small enough to pass through the walls of the villi in the small intestine. This is a process of absorption, what I said. Okay, so the passing of the small molecules of food after breaking down them, the passes through the walls of the villi in the small intestine, this is the absorption into the blood flow. This is the absorption. And the digestion is the process of breaking large bits of food down. Breaking down the large bits of food into small molecules. Okay, these small molecules then passes through the walls of the villi in the small intestine into the blood, and this is the absorption. So the digestion and absorption, they are related together. Okay, should be the food should be digested first and then will be absorbed through the small intestine into the blood flow. Okay, so it is the digestion and absorption. Okay, here let's to find out what inside this pig. So here in the mouse, as I said to you, the digestive system starts from the mouse. Okay, why from the mouse? Because the digestion process beginning in the mouse, there is a teeth and there is a salivary glands. Okay, these salivary glands helps the digestion process through what? The salivary glands secrete something called saliva. This saliva is substance inside your mouth. Okay, this liquid substance inside your mouth called saliva. Okay, this saliva secreted by salivary gland. Okay, and also there is a teeth. So the process of breaking down the food started inside the mouth by the teeth. Okay, and by the saliva. Okay, then the food passes through the esophagus and into the stomach and treated with the acid and the enzyme of pepsinogen, and then go to the small intestine. So in the small intestine, I said to you there where the digestion and the absorption occur. So the small intestine also is divided into three parts. Okay, the first part is duodenum, the small intestine divided into three parts. The first part of the small intestine is the duodenum. This is the upper part. In the duodenum, where the digestion occur. Okay, the duodenum, and then there is ileum and jejunum. Well, the small intestine consists of three parts: duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. But unfortunately, this is parts not clear in this picture, but not important. You should know the duodenum. It's the upper part of small intestine because it's the important one. Okay, the digestion and the digestion of the food occur in this upper part of the small intestine, which is the duodenum. Okay. Then here as you see, this is the pancreas. Okay, and This is the cecum. Okay, the cecum, you can find the cecum in the midpoint or the meeting point of the small intestine and the large intestine. So it's like one duct, but in the middle there is a cecum. So this is the cecum. It's closed. Okay, so inside the cecum also, as I said to you, there is a microbes, or we can say microflora, consists of bacteria, algae, and some fungi. Okay, so they are breaking down the fibers in the animal feed. So they're breaking down, so the animal can get the useful of these fibers in the feed. And then the large intestine and the cecum and the anus. Okay, so here the liver and the gallbladder. This gallbladder store the bile, which produced by the liver. And as I said to you, the bile is important important in the digestion of the lipids in the small intestine. And as I said to you, the digestion in this area, in the duodenum or in the upper part of the small intestine, occur by the pancreatic enzymes. The enzymes come from the pancreas. Okay, pancreas have several types of enzymes. They can digest all of the food types. They can digest the carbohydrate, lipids, protein. Okay, so all of these types of enzymes come from the pancreas. Okay, but here in the stomach, just the acid of hydrochloric and the pepsinogen. This pepsinogen just digests the protein. So inside the stomach, just the digestion of protein occurs. But in the small intestine, the digestion of all types of food occurs. Okay. Okay, here we have I put this picture to show you the can say the axillary glands, which they helps in the digestion process. So this is the liver, and as I said to you, the liver produces the bile. Okay, and this bile stored in the gallbladder. Okay, so this gallbladder, or you can say this bile, it helps in the digestion of the lipids. Okay, or it's very important in the digestion of the lipids, the bile. How this bile come to the small intestine? It comes from through the duct, which called bile duct. Okay, this duct from the bile into the small intestine, the upper part, duodenum of the small intestine. Well, here also this blue one. The pancreas. So from the pancreas, the digestive enzymes produced. Okay, and then comes to the small intestine through the duct called pancreatic duct. Okay, so there is no two ducts. One of them is bile duct, and the another is pancreatic duct. So these are the two accessory glands they help in the digestion process. The liver by producing the bile, and the pancreas by producing the digestive enzymes. Okay, the third auxiliary, the third important gland is or are in the mouth. They call it salivary glands. As I told you, they produce the saliva inside the mouth. Okay. So in the digestive system there is three accessory glands: the salivary gland, the liver, and the pancreas. Okay. Well, here we are going to study the avian digestive system. So avian means birds. All the birds called avian. Okay. So here we will take the chicken as example for the avian, and we will study the digestive system of this chicken, and we will compare this digestive system of chicken with the rabbit digestive system. So here you can observe some differences appear here in the chicken digestive system. This according to their nature of their food. Okay, the nature of the feed of the avians is different from the another types of animals. So here in the mouth of the chicken you can see this part called beak. Okay, this yellow part called beak. So this beak is in all the bears. They have a beak, and they do not have a teeth inside. Okay, so they just pick the feed through this beak, and they swallow the food into the or through the esophagus. But here in the chicken we have this part, important part in the birds. So this part developed in the bears because they store the food for short time here. This part called crop. Okay, so the crop developed in the esophagus of the chicken or we can say in the esophagus of the bears. All bears had a crop, or we can say most of all have a crop. Okay, and then after the crop the food passes through and arrives to the another part which is a proventriculus. The proventriculus is the stomach of the birds. So in the another types of animals like rabbits, like pigs, or even the human, they have a stomach, and inside the stomach there is hydrochloric acid and pepsinogen, as I said to you. So in this part also proventriculus, where is the enzymatic digestion occur. So in this proventriculus produce the hydrochloric acid and pepsinogen. So this is the stomach, or we can say the real stomach of the chicken and the bears. It's called proventriculus. After this proventriculus, there is another part of a stomach called gizzard. Okay, so this gizzard is instead of the teeth. So as you know, the bears do not have teeth inside their mouths. So the gizzard has a stones. So these stones comes with the food. Okay, and stay here to help the mechanism of the mechanical digestion of food. So because of there is no mechanical digestion by the teeth in the bears, instead of that there is a mechanical digestion in the gizzard. Okay, so in this gizzard the mechanical, not chemical, mechanical digestion occurs, but the chemical digestion by the enzymes occur here in the proventriculus. Okay, well, then after that there we have a small intestine. Okay, and the duodenum, it's the upper part of the small intestine. Okay, so within the duodenum we can see the pancreas, and here we have the liver, and through the small intestine. Then in the midpoint of small intestine and large intestine or colon there is a ceca, 2 ceca, not one. In the rabbits and human and pigs we found 1 cecum, but here in the chicken and birds they have 2 ceca. Okay, they have 2 ceca. This is a very important point to differentiate between the digestive system of the bears and the rabbits and other mono-gastric animals. So the bears have 2 ceca, but the rabbits and other monogastric animals, they have 1 cecum. So the ceca, when it's 1, you have to say cecum with M, ended with M. But if there are 2, you'll say ceca, 2 ceca. Okay, and then we have a colon and cloaca. This cloaca is the exit, because the both feces and urine exit by this opening. So in the bears there is no urine, there is uric acid. Okay, so so how the bears, or what the you can say what the developing organs or happening in the chicken digestive system. Number 1 is the crop. Okay, and another one is the gizzard. The third one is the ceca. And now you know the function of each organ in the digestion process. Okay, this is an overview for the digestive system or the digestion process happening in the chicken's body. So I wrote it here to help you to understand. Okay, so the food picked up by the beak, then moved down the esophagus into the crop, moves down the esophagus into the crop. It's temporarily stored here, so the food stored here temporarily for a short time. Next, the food reaches the proventriculus, the first part of the stomach. That's not mean the birds have two stomachs. No, the birds is also a monogastric, but they have two parts in their stomach. A proventriculus is the first part, and then the digestive enzymes are added to the food in this stomach, and acid also, hydrochloric acid, as I told you, and mucus secreted by the proventriculus also. Okay, this helps to soften the food, which often consists of very hard grains. As you know, the nature of the food of the chicken and the birds, the nature of their food is hard, because they feed grains, hard grains, so they need to break them down, but they have no teeth in their mouth. So instead of that, they have a gizzard. But the chemical digestion occurs in proventriculus. It's the first part of the stomach. Then we are going to the second part. So the food passes into the gizzard, the second part of the stomach. In the gizzard, with its tough muscular wall, breakdown of the food is completed with help of sand and small stones swallowed by the birds. Okay, the food can be regurgitated. The food can be regurgitated. Regurgitate means the food can go back to the proventriculus after arrive the gizzard and broken down by the stones, so the food can regurgitate it back and flow between the proventriculus and the gizzard many times. Go to the gizzard and then go back to proventriculus and go to the gizzard many times to improve digestion effectiveness. Okay, after that the food passes to the small intestine. The food then passes on the small intestine, where the pancreas and liver help absorption, as they did in the other systems studied. As I said to you, liver and pancreas help the digestion and absorption of food, as in the other systems studied. Bears have a short, large intestine. Here, a short, large intestine in the bears, where the small and large intestine meet. This point, in the meat of the large and small intestine, there are two ceca. Okay, there are two ceca. The large intestine and the ceca absorb water. The large intestine and the ceca, their function is absorption the water. Okay, the ceca also contain microbes that break down fiber, as in the rabbits and all the herbivorous animals. The waste is passed out through the cloaca after uric acid has been added to it, and then passed out. Okay, so now you know what's happening to the food inside the chicken and also inside the another monogastric animals. Well, here we have a digestive system for the rabbits, and we want to compare the digestive system of this rabbit with the studied digestive system of the bears. or chicken as example. So here in the mouth of the rabbit it has a teeth, so the mechanism of the mechanical digestion start inside the mouth. I will draw to make it easier. Here in the mouth the rabbit has a teeth, so the mechanism of the mechanical digestion start here in the mouth. Okay, and it has also a salivary glands to soften the food. Salivary glands secrete saliva to soften the food, and then esophagus without crop, but in the chicken there is a crop developed in the esophagus, right? Then the food goes to stomach, and here this is one jumper stomach. Because of that, this the rabbit is a mono-gastric animal. Okay, but in the chicken the stomach has two parts. The chicken is also mono-gastric, but the chicken have two parts. One is the stomach, or it's called a proventriculus, where is the chemical digestion by the enzymes occurs, and the other part in the chicken is a gizzard, where the mechanical digestion instead of the teeth in the mouth occurs in this gizzard. But in the rabbit we found one stomach with one part, so the chemical digestion only occur in the stomach. Okay, because the rabbit don't need to a mechanical digestion here, because they already have a teeth in their mouth. Okay, so after the stomach there is the small intestine, and you can see the liver and the bile, the gallbladder. The liver produces the bile stored in the gallbladder, and then the pancreas produce the digestive enzymes. Okay, here you can see the duct of the pancreatic duct. Okay, and also here the duct of the bile duct in the small intestine. Then after the long small intestine, but in the chicken there is the small intestine is also long in the chicken, but in the large intestine is very short in the chicken, but it's longer in the rabbit. Okay, and then you can see the cecum. It's large cecum, or you can see long cecum, but it's just one cecum. Okay, containing microbes. They break down the fibers. But in the chicken, the ceca, there is two ceca. Okay, but rabbits have one large cecum, and then you can see the colon, and this is all the large intestine. Okay, the absorption of water and minerals occur in this large intestine, and also in the cecum the absorption of the water occur also in the cecum, and then the anus to pass out the feces. Okay, well, this is the digestive system of rabbit and all the monogastric animal. So now you can observe there is some developing parts. These parts you can see, you can say these modifications happens in the digestive systems of some types of animals. These modifications occurs according to their nature of food. If this nature of food is hard food like grains, if the nature of their food is soft food, if how they get the food. Okay, so according to the nature of the food and how they get the food, so you can see some can see you can see some modifications occur in the digestive system, like the cecum, the large cecum in the rabbit, to contain a large number of microbes to break down the fibers, because the nature of the rabbit consists of rich in fiber. Okay, you can see in the birds, in the chicken, the nature of their food is hard. They feed on the grains, hard grains. So because of that, they have a gizzard in their stomach. They have a gizzard to break down the food, and also they have two ceca. Okay, so you can find these modifications according to the nature of the food of the animal. Also in the teeth, also you can observe there is some differences in the teeth of the animals, as you see. For example, some animals have no very sharp teeth, but another animals have a very sharp teeth. They eat meat like cats and dogs. Okay, but the rabbits, for example, have long teeth, help them to cut the hard matters like carrot, like wood. Okay, so this is an examples for modifications occurs in some animals' body according to their nature of food and the environment where they live. Okay, the assignment number 1, and I hope you discuss this assignment in the WhatsApp group, is what is the false rumination in rabbits? False rumination in rabbits. I want you to search about this false rumination in rabbits and come to discuss about this assignment in the WhatsApp group. And if anyone have any question and or anything not clear, please feel free when you ask me. And thank you.